I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Tricknick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Tricknick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
All right, good morning. I am sure viewers, subscribers, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Well, you know what? You have life, man. And that's a precious gift that we celebrate. Big up to all the persons who continue to support the channel. Again, thank you for helping us to surpass 5,000 subscribers. It took some time. I think we started going live just over a year now, and look what we have accomplished. So again, big thank you to every single subscriber. Every person who watches and shares the content or tells someone about it. I am sure sports and management has become a household name on the local sporting landscape. Today is a very busy day. As you know, we have our JPL show coming up later. But I wanted to take some time today to kind of, not for long, but to go through the whole formation and system, and got some information from a coach, a video that I'm going to show to kind of help us to understand that whenever we have discussions, so it won't be long, but whenever we have discussions about system and formation, we can get, we'll be better able to explain what we are saying and what we mean by what we are saying. All right. And so that's the whole purpose of this video today. Formation and system, are they one and the same? All right. What are the distinctions? And maybe you have your own definition. I'd love for you to type that in the comment section, and I will highlight it so that we can all see it. It is also Super Friday. So on Super Friday, all right, one of the upgrades we're trying to do, we're trying to get a next set of stuff like this, so that when we start our basketball show, one of the things that I have a big coach, right, who is in Jamaica, who wants to come into the studio and sit beside me and do the interview. So we want, when that interview is being done, that we have two of these mics. So when I'm here, he's here. So we got a camera that will be, in a couple of weeks, will be, we have a very good camera that we use now, but we have a bigger, more professional camera, like something that you see right there on the screen. One of those that will be able to capture the picture, right, of both of us. So somebody's there monitoring it. That will work. So the next thing now is to get a next kind of microphone like this, so that the person can be sitting there and I'm sitting here and we're not sharing one mic, right? Microphone. So on Super Fridays, all contribution donations go towards, I am sure, sports, right? So looking forward to that. So big up Dukeland, Stefan Wright, up, Jason, Calabar, Fresh God, always there supporting, one of the good youths out there. I mean, young youth, but that is, and I think sometimes, like, if YouTube, the sporting landscape in terms of Jamaica need to award someone as the most consistent in what he does on YouTube, it is Fresh God. You check any channel that you see him on. He may not be on all of them, but the ones that you see him on, his work is very, very consistent. I'm wondering if he saves all of these messages in his phone and just copy and paste them. The man is so consistent and so good. So big up yourself, Fresh God. Real youth out there. Yeah, and listen, him don't like to get things wrong. You understand me? And him don't like when him right and you tell him say him wrong. He would fire. Tennessee. Yeah, Duckland. We don't know Duckland. We have the same surname. You understand me? You know what? Come working at the studio, Duckland, man. Come help me out, now, man. We need some help. People, it's difficult, because wherever I go, I try to keep the same background. It's not all the time I'm in the same place. It's just that all the time the background look the same, but I'm in different spaces and things. So sometimes I need help. I'm Pioneer, brethren. Where you go on with? Pioneer, my brethren, and G-Star, Preacher, all of them on them. G-Star, Preacher, Pioneer, Huntley. I mean, a lot of these guys, you have not been seeing them. They're focusing on the NFL. You understand me? So just wait and see. Fresh God, look out here, Jason, making a petition for you to be for you to get an award called Heroes Day. Oh yeah, from Bro God to Fresh God. Yeah, but I want you to listen, right? So I'm going to play a video that I want you to listen. So we have to play bits and pieces of it. We can't play the whole thing at one point, all right? And then we're going to stop it and have some discussions. It's about systems and formation, all right? So let me come off screen. All right. Oh, you're not hearing the sound? So how come I'm hearing the sound and you're not hearing the sound? Hold on. All right. So I need to. You're not getting the sound? Oh, no sound. All right. So I need to. All right. So let me sort out the sound. How is that possible? All right. Don't worry, man. We're gonna sort out the sound thing. So let me go back to it because I'm hearing it. So let me see if there is something that I need to do here. It can go over there. Right. So let's see sound. Yeah, the sound is there. And to stream. All right. All right. So yeah, so all right. So let me see. So you say you weren't hearing the sound. So I want to make sure that you're hearing this because you have to hear it for it to really, well, for it to make sense. All right. So let's go back from the start and So tell me if you're hearing the audio for the video. I'm going to start playing it again, and then please tell me if you are hearing it, because I am hearing
about
it.
formations. But before I go into more detail, we need to differentiate between the two terms formation and playing system. First, because they are often used ambiguously.
Zwei Begrifflichkeiten und deswegen wollen wir noch mal kurz näher darauf eingehen. Das Thema Grundordnung,
When we talk about formations, we refer to static situations. That means you can identify the formation of the team already before kickoff. For example, a 4-4-2 flat, a 3-5-2, or a 4-1-4-1. However, as soon as the players are in motion, and once they start interpreting their positions, we're referring to it as a playing system and no longer as a formation. So let's keep these definitions in mind. Now let me show you the different formations. Depending on your ideas and your philosophy, you can then decide which one is going to be the most suitable for you and your team. Your philosophy, or more specifically the formation, is dependent on the available talent, but the longer you've been with a club, the more influence you have on it.
All right, so you hear all of that, right? So your formation is static. Meaning it is static. It is what you see at the start of the game. Once the game starts and you begin to move, it becomes your system. He also says, like, based on the talent available and the time you have spent with it, it is more your philosophy or your imprint will be on the team. So it is a coach must know his talent before he can determine his system, because the talent available really, you understand me, really determines the system that you play. So it's going to be hard for you to have a defined system without understanding the talent available unless you can purchase the talent, right? That is making sense. I know South Korea is saying that he's not hearing anything new. All right. So though the formation is, you could say, is a part of what a system is, it is not the entirety of the system. The formation is very static. It is a static position on the field. All right. That is basically what it is saying. All right. So let's continue and listen some more and look at how they break down what we know as the 4-4-2. So Demo is saying beating the press. No, we're learning the game together. I prefer to do it that way. We are learning together. Demo says that's why I always told the Jamaican fans, Stopper had a system. They just didn't like it. This what style JA play on the Topper, and we have no style was a joke. Oh, okay. This one is saying, Sheridan is saying, system is a tactical instruction given to the players and developed in a game. It varies from defense to offense. A formation is how you will position players at the start of the game. All right. Yeah. This is good conversation. Jamaican fans know football, you know. What say you?
If you've just taken over a new team, you have to decide on how to adjust your preferred formation and the ensuing system to your squad. I will now explain the different situations step by step. We're in a 4-4-2 flat formation here, and we're...
All right, so you have to understand what the 4-4-2 flat formation is, because 4-4-2 can be applied different ways, right? You can play the 4-4-2, for example, with a diamond midfield instead of a flat 4. You don't have to play. So I just want to explain that you don't have to. The older 4-4-2 formation was what you call a sweeper and a man marker with 2 wing backs, a D mid, a top mid, and 2 flank midfielders. That's not the flat. The flat is where you have what you call, you have an A and a B sweeper, a right back, a left back. You have 4 midfielders across, right? And 2 up front. So that is what he's talking. So he's not looking at the older 4-4-2, which is sweeper, man marker, D mid, top mid, right mid, left mid, and the 2 center forwards. He's not doing that. He's talking about the flat one where 4 across defense, 4 across midfield, and the 2 at the top, right? So that is what this is.
The red team. We're playing up the field as depicted by this arrow. Defensive midfielders shifting to the back 4 has become quite common, and it's a great example to illustrate the difference between a formation and the playing system again. As soon as he shifts back, we're in a different system, even though the formation, as depicted, was a 4-4-2 flat. Once again, once he shifts back, the system becomes a completely different one. This is why you have to differentiate the 2 terms. The formation is called 4-4-2 flat. Players 3, 4, 5 and 2 make up the back 4. Players 10 and 6 are the 2 defensive midfielders. Number 7 and 8 are the attacking midfielders on the flank, and players 9 and 11 are the 2 strikers.
All right. So you see why the formation really is it is important, but it is in modern day football. The moment the game starts, everything changes. Right? You understand me? Everything changes. You understand me? Everything changes. So with that being said, the formation is in modern day football that you see, the static formation at the beginning of the game is not really that important. Because the moment the game starts, the people begin to shift into different position, which is the system. All right. Beating the Press is asking a question. Management, should the system suit the players at your disposal, or you have a system and then select players to fit that system, let's say at the international level? All right, so at the beginning he said it depends on the amount of time. So for example, which is one of the issues I think a lot of persons are having with the under 17 team, should the coach have had a system? I say he should know some things that he wants to do, but to have a complete system in terms of how they're going to do everything would be very difficult, because system is dependent, like he said, on talent available. So you'd have to have something in mind, and then when you see your talent, you refine it and clearly define it. At the international club level, people like Pep and Klopp, if you look at Klopp is very, and Liverpool, they are very specific in the kind of forward players that they buy. Players who run consistently, who understand the press. Mourinho is a little different. Mourinho doesn't, like the present day Mourinho doesn't do that. So Mourinho has a system, and what he does, he signs a 3-year contract. And when he signs that contract, he begins to buy the players that suits the system that he has already. You don't get to do that per se at the international level in terms of a national team, because sometimes the coach get 2-year contract and he doesn't have the players regularly for them to learn the system. So what he does when he calls in his squad, he begins to teach them the basics of the system. And you will hear this a little further. Yeah. And the basics are what you do without the ball, what you do with the ball. And if you can get that, you're kind of okay. All right. So big up yourself. Bartender. We know that, man. That is why we need the camera that we have now, very good quality, but trust me, you can't add lens to it. All right. We know why we're telling you that, but we know that we only need to change the lens. All right. Every system still has to be executed in game situation, or players lose the ball soon as they get and make a long kick when they get it back. How can you execute a system? All right. And I'm sure every system has to be executed in game situations. Our players lose the ball as soon as they get it and make a long kick when they get. All right. So I keep saying to people, playing the ball long is not ineffective. It's only ineffective when you play the ball long and lose it. If every time we played the ball long, we got possession and created an opportunity, you would not have a problem with the long ball. The issue we have is that our accuracy on long passes and the ability to receive the long passes is where we are failing. So this idea that, all right, there was a game, I think it was Holland versus Argentina in the World Cup, was it? When Holland came back in the game? Was it against Holland? When they brought on these big, tall, I think Weghorst was one of them. I'm getting old. Somebody just tell me if that is the game. When they brought on these big, tall center forwards and start just playing the ball long, and they came back in the game against Argentina. Was it Argentina? They played against Holland versus Argentina in the World Cup, and the guy that is at Manchester United, Weghorst, Wout Weghorst. Right. So thank you so much, El Granero and Mirak. So prior to bringing on those players, they were passing the ball around, but they started playing just long balls into the box. The thing is that it worked effectively. So nothing is wrong with long. Poland played the same thing. Long ball. Poland did it. But here's what, it was effective. So the thing is that nothing is wrong with playing the ball long if the passes are accurate and the players are able to receive them. All right. We soon go back. I just want to take some of the comments because this is a discussion video. So Duckland says, I think the coach has to start with a system he's comfortable with and then change as the talent becomes. Wonderful. Look like Duckland could coach football. So you have, and so that is why most coaches at the beginning of their thing, they start very basic. And as they add talent, that is why you always hear this. Coaches need time. They need time so with players so that they can refine and clearly define their system. They need time. So have you ever seen a coach come in like when Arteta is a good example. When he came to Arsenal, after that first season when they were close to finishing in the top 4 and they fell out, people were saying that he should lose his job. But the truth is, the team that he was using was not the players that he needed to play the system that he had in mind. So he just worked with what he got. Now that he has, because in this team, Arteta brought in Ramsdale, Arteta brought back Saliba, Arteta brought in Zinchenko, Odegaard, Partey, Gabriel Jesus. A lot of these players, Ben White, a lot of these players, Ramsdale, a lot of these players are players that Arteta actually brought in. So now you're seeing his system at work and people are saying that, whoa, he can coach. Because you need time. And Duckland points is so important, right? This is why club football and international football are two different games. Absolutely. That is why club football will always look a whole lot better than international football. What international football has is that these players are giving their heart and their soul for their nation and stuff like that. But club football will always, to me, look better because in club football, what is happening is that the coaches have time to create or to build or to implement the best possible system with the best possible players, and they can find the best possible players and buy them for most of the top clubs. And so that must always be taken into consideration. All right. When you never compare what happens in a club with what is happening with an international team. It makes no sense. All right, so people, go ahead and hit the like button. For those of you who are watching and you have not done so yet, come on, man. Go ahead and hit the like button. All right, let me take a couple more comments and then we'll go back to the video. Demo says, yup, spot on about Liverpool. Klopp, management, totally different from Dortmund Klopp, who use a number 9. There you go. So Klopp I think is one of the best example of who he purchases. Sometimes even Liverpool fans is saying why they don't buy this person, why they don't buy this person. But Klopp buys very specific, right? There you go, El Granero. That is the point. Yes. Yes, Alex, there was a 2-day camp today, this week. I spoke about it already in a previous show. 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, with 12 players, 12 defenders, and some of the Premier League coaches were invited to do that. All right. All right. Manningsman, would you say Spain has a defined system or the coaches are the one who comes with their specific system? All right, so the thing with even Spain is that Spain, the whole tiki-taka football that they play is something that with Barcelona, if you notice Spain's side, like Spain is very funny, you know. Spain and Germany are two teams that you must always look at. Because most of the Spanish players generally comes from Real Madrid and Barcelona, who kind of play a similar kind of possession ball, though Barcelona is way ahead. So when they come into the Spain system, it's easy for any coach to take that. The difference with a team like France is that they have talent. Like France is like the next extreme, because France sometimes put together teams that they have players from almost every top club in the world. That's how phenomenal France is. Here is where I think France has an advantage. They have a youth academy that a lot of these players who we see in the senior team learned certain principles in the academy for the national team. So wherever they go, when they come back, the same principles that they learn from in the academy are the principles that the coaches use in the senior team. So it doesn't matter where they go. And I think that is where I think, like, if we're going to teach a system, what we have to do is to teach it at a national academy. That means when the players go to Russia or to Spain or to Barcelona, when some of those players are the core of the players who get called back to the national team would have learned some of these things from the academy, and then we will see the job for the coach, I think, would be easier because he has a core who understands certain principles. I don't know if that makes, but that is what I think is the way forward. All right. Do you have a keen eye for details and spot on in your observation? Oh, Declan, you have. Oh, that's essentially the challenge internationally in terms of limited selection to choose from and time to implement. Yep. Holland versus. Yeah, thank you, Sheridan. All right. I've also pinned the links for if any of you want to come on, or you can also call in because the phone lines are open. Making short passes is also ineffective if the players make bad pass or miscontrol the ball. Yeah, Marsden Ricketts. And that is the next part of it. Sometimes the technical skill of the players is a part of the issue. I see Mr. Ruler Speed says most top countries have what you call a game model. Okay, game model. All right, so you see, game model is different from system. You see it now? So, Mr. Speed, what we want to know, does Jamaica have a game model? Well, most top countries. So that is my question to you, Mr. Speed. That's a question for you. Does Jamaica have a game model? But let's play a little. All right. Let me just go through the comments. Management. That's why the coach should scout for his players to fit his system. Okay. All right. Every top level team can pass the ball through all areas of the field, from defense to forward, and know how to turn it back if passing lanes are blocked. Every top team can do that. Okay, maybe Jamaica is not a top team, though South Croy. Would you consider Jamaica a top team in international world football? Give Craig Butler his due. Yeah, he always preach one system throughout a nation. Well, is it system though, Demo, or should we say in a game model? Or should it be a game model? How do you reconcile the fact that a coach should select players to fit his system, but owners and other persons are buying players and selecting teams for the coach? Example, Chelsea, JFF off the pass. Wherever put Manchester United in there, you think you're easy, Duke, lad. Yeah, the truth is though, the coach has to be integral in players coming into the system. The coach has to be, right? But see, Mr. Speed responding, he's saying that the game model is coming up. When can we expect it? Before Gold Cup? Before the World Cup qualifiers? When and who develops the game model for a nation? Hey, Mr. Speed, these are the questions you need to answer. You know? Who is developing the game model for the nation? The technical committee? And when can we expect it? A big question, them people. Yeah, I would say that Jamaica is not a top country, man. Jamaica, when it comes down to football, South Cry, yeah, right, Stephen, right. Jamaica is not a top country, and we have to be real and honest, man. We're not ranking the top. We're not ranking the top 50, so we're not a top country. Much less top 10. We have never been in the top 10 or in our footballing history, or 20 and above. Never. The owner must be going by the recommendation of the coach. What you say, Mount Stennett? A Mount Pleasant, Mount Stennett, a Mr. Stennett. Big up Ishmael. All right, so let's watch a little bit more of the video, people. And hear what, because he's breaking this down now.
The next formation within this setup is a 4-4-2 diamond. It means that one of the defensive midfielders shifts in front of the defenders. The attacking midfielders are positioned more centred here. The full-backs shift forward, and the centre-backs are wide apart. This situation primarily focuses on the offence. When it comes to formations, you have to make two separate decisions, which one you should choose for the defence and which one for the offence.
All right, so you hear what he just said. So in 4-4-2, there are two ways to play the formation. One way to play it when you're defending, and one way to play it when you're attacking. So he's talking about using the flat four in defending, and in attacking, he's talking about what I was speaking about earlier, the diamond. All right. So these things are very important. So though the static position is 4-4-2, there are so many changes happening in the game, which is the system of play, the playing system. All right. See, yeah, you need to know all systems and formation during the learning and development process of players, So you tweak the game model to compete. All right? Tweak the game model. Most effective tactic available. Most effective tactic available at the time. Yeah. We have a general way Jamaican play, but I don't think it was an intentional game model. Yeah, you know what? How do Jamaicans play? Can we clearly identify? Do we have an identity? When we look at our national teams, when we look at our female team or U20 teams, right? Do we have an identity? All right, this one says, so management, should we aspire to become a top team? Are we okay with not being? No, of course we. Oh, South Cry. You weren't speaking about aspiration. Of course we aspire to be a top team, but the reality is we have never been a top team. But we aspire to be. That is why we're having this discussion. Jamaica has never been a top team in international football. But we aspire to be. We're not even a top team in CONCACAF. The top team is probably Mexico or the United States. Not even in our region. Many people will even argue that we are not even the top team in the Caribbean. We have never been consistently. It's between Jamaica and Trinidad. So even regionally, so do we aspire to be? Of course it is an aspiration, but we're just not there yet. That's all we're saying. All right. This one says, how you play in position and when you're out of position. Right, which is what he's saying with the 4-4-2. My humble opinion, Duklan says, a game model should come out of the comprehensive consultation with football minds from all over, coaches, players, even fans. All right. So, Mr. Speed, here's a question for you. What is a game model? And how is it different from a system of play? If any other coaches are on, you can talk, you can call into. You understand me? What is a game model, Mr. Speed? You want to join and explain? No, you're a busy man, Let me see if we can find a link somewhere to invite you. Although the link is pinned, So if you just click on that if you're watching on your computer, you can come right onto the stream. So, what is a game model? Who can define what a game model is, and who should create the game model for a nation? Is it the present head coach? Is it the technical director, like Duklan says, in consultation with all the footballing stakeholders, like as many coaches as possible all across the island, with personnel from FIFA and from CONCACAF? Do we need to find help from outside of Jamaica to create a game model? Yeah. So let's see. Anything short of that, and we have a similar position as the car seat for taxi. Duklan, we're not going to discuss that. We're not discussing that. Pile and salad is not again. Oh my. So how do we become a top team if we continue to play the same way we always play? But South Cry, how we played in the last World Cup campaign is not how we have always played, South Cry. Come on, man, not do that, man. Just South Cry. Take the emotions out of it. How we played in the last campaign has not been the way Jamaica has always played. We weren't playing like that when we qualified for the World Cup. The under-17 teams that qualified wasn't playing like that. Neither was the under-20. The team that went to the Gold Cup finals 2 times wasn't playing like that. So come on, man, not do that, man. When we're Caribbean, we have not always played that way. All of us are agreeing with you that we need to change some of these things. But we are not a top nation. So I'm not sure what argument you're having, because nobody's saying that we must keep kicking ball long. But what we're saying to you is kicking the ball long can be effective. And you have to acknowledge that. And I just gave the perfect example of Argentina versus the Netherlands. Kicking the ball long. When Sweden played with Zlatan, they played a lot of long passes to him. They played low block, played the ball. So nothing is wrong with that if it is effective. Why do I need to keep the ball and make 100 passes like Spain and lose? An ugly win is better than a pretty loss. I don't have to play pretty. I just need to be effective. Yeah, Jamaica defender narrow and deep hit long balls. Attack on the wings to allow wingers to take on defenders. Also midfield, tackle hard and take on players in front to create a pass wide. All right. Manning, that makes, yeah. Yeah, very good question. I was wondering. So what I want to know is who has the responsibility of creating the game model? Mr. Speed, I need you to answer that. Who is working on the game model? Because we want to know, we want to know if the game model is being prepared. We need to know who is creating the game model. Who? I'm not putting up that trouble, you know. But let's continue. Remember, this is an hour-long show though, because we have our JPL show coming up. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying that we mustn't pass the ball, you know. What I want is effective football. I don't need to make 50 passes to look good. If I can go, bam, Blake to low to Pinnock to Morris to Bobby Reid hits it long to Antonio into the back of the net. I'm fine with that. I don't need when Bobby Reid get it in, play it back to Ravel, and Ravel play it back to low, and low play it back to Blake, and Blake play back to low back to Blake, and I don't need to do that. I want the most effective way of winning the game. And in fact, these things are, again, the perfect example is Holland. Holland started out passing the ball around. They were down. They were down, all right? They were down. And when they were down, they changed their system of play. They changed the personnel on the field, and they got back in the game. And the system of play that they went to was just kicking some long ball with some very tall players, because the Argentinian defenders were shorter. And they got back in the game. So even in a game, you can play different systems depending on the moment that you're in. What Jamaica needs to do is that when you're leading some game, we have to have players who can keep the ball. And so I agree with that. But keeping the ball may not be the most effective way of winning the game. It can be, but may not be. All right. Some people say playing long ball not going to get it anywhere. So I want to find out. Somebody said Morocco versus Spain as well. Mr. Speed, where you gone, man? Me ask him, man, about the game model and the man gone. Who is creating the Jamaica game model? That's number one. Who is creating the Jamaica game model? All right. And I need somebody to also tell me, what is the identity? When you look at Jamaica football, what is the identity? I'm going to play the next part of the video and then, yeah, we have around 13 minutes to go.
Some coaches might say, offensively, I'm going with a 4-2-3-1, and defensively with a 4-4-2 flat, because it makes defending easier. We'll examine later if that's true. Once again, this is a 4-4-2 with a diamond midfield. Then we also have a formation with a back three, the 3-5-2, and it looks like this. Player 5 is positioned in the middle. He used to be called sweeper, but in today's game he's just called a central defender. Players 5, 3 and 2 are the 3 defenders. And there are the 5 midfielders, players 4 and 6. They're positioned in front of the defenders. They're the defensive midfielders. Number 10 in the middle is the playmaker. Players 7 and 8 are the wide midfielders, and players 9 and 11 are the strikers. Put together, we have the following setup: 3 in the back, 5 in midfield, and 2 up front, hence the term 3-5-2. This 3-5-2 can be transformed into a 3-4-3. The back 3.
All right, so you're getting that now, right? And I think these are the kind of things like we want to see in the game where we can easily identify what our national team is doing. What we should be doing now is looking at this under-17 team when they play to see if we can identify what is their system of play. So they have the game against Trinidad and Tobago. One is on Saturday at Arnett Gardens. I think it starts at 4. Yeah, it starts at 4 p.m. The cost for entering is $1,000. That's at Arnett Gardens on Saturday. Jamaica versus Trinidad and Tobago in under-17 action. And then they are going to play again on Tuesday at St. Elizabeth Technical High School, also at the same time. All right. So 2 games for them, and what we must look at is what is the system. I saw someone earlier said that Coach Meron Garden believes that the team will be able to qualify for the World Cup, and once they qualify, players will come in. You understand me? Some players who maybe didn't get their paperwork now, and injured players could probably come back into the team. I wish them all the best. Really, really think we are due a qualification. You understand me? Different qualification. All right. Identity kick on around. Let's get the technical director. All right. This one says that bull to have so many people to come up with a plan, coaches, because they come and go. I'm not sure I fully understand, bartender. See if you can type it again and explain. I did have some with this coach, but obviously what he's about to implement will not get Jamaica to the next level. With which coach? All right, we have Mr. Speed. Mr. Speed, yes, welcome to the show. All right, so you have started to explain system of play. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. You have explained system of play, then you went to game model. So yeah. And who is developing the Jamaica game model? When can we, as part of the technical committee, are you able to speak on those matters?
I don't know if I want to speak on it, but I want to join a discussion as a person learning the game too. So I don't want to talk about being from a technical committee.
Okay.
But remember Clive Light, just to remember the famous Clive Light, right? His game model was relentless battery of pace bowling in cricket. See? You see how game model developed? He believed that if him come with that relentless battery of pace bowling, nobody in the world can stand up to him. And he was right. Right? Nobody ever thought about that before. Then we developed batsmen who scored fast. So they were rapid scorers. And because of that, it put a lot of pressure on the fielding team and the bowling team. Again, that was type of the West Indian way. Cut and hook and pull and exciting shots. That was a game model. And it actually did work, right? So what happened with game models is that you have to look at what you have in your country at your disposal and develop what best suits you. So Spain, players small, not very big. So they develop a game model of pass and movements, right? And it was simple. Germany, they also have a game model. All of the top team, Brazil, the Brazilian way, the Samba. I mean, all of them try to tweak it now, but you could remember when they played in a particular way. So somebody says Salad and a game model. I mean, if that's why your country decides them are going to do, is a game. If you tell your father, say everybody come for you, dribble them or pie them or salad them, see if you can disorient them. It could be a game model. It might not be successful.
Yeah.
It's a game model. So that is how people build their own game model in their locality based on what they have available. So I hope you understand what a game model does. It's just something that the team does consistently all the time in all situations, or most of the time in all situations. That's how you really come for that game model.
But how does Jamaica do that when you have players like born in America, born in England, who may not come into your team until they are at the senior level?
Right. So in the modern game, though, if you notice, so it's two different type of countries we have in a modern game, right? You have countries who are the most successful countries that they rarely ever use anybody that's not born in their country, right? You have those. Or even if they're not born in the country, their education, their football education is usually in the country when they're growing up. So even if you have a France where they send players all over the world, at least in the development phases, they used to be in the same academy coming up. Of course, they'll get
which is what I said earlier, that if Jamaica had a national academy, how effective would it be when you may have 8 players who are playing in England in your senior? You understand? But go ahead and explain your stuff.
Right. So what happened? All right. So I'll give you another example. When I went into Sweden in 2018, I think, and 2019 at the Gothia Cup, I was speaking to some of the Swedish coaches. Sweden has just started to learn to play out from the back. So they had a meeting with all the coaches in the country, and all the coaches decided that they were going to teach all their teams to play from out of the back. Because remember before that, Sweden was a country that play a lot of long balls, and somebody smashing a goal, they win one love, they go home, everybody feel happy, right? That was kind of their MO, a free kick, a set play, and everybody happy. So what happened is that all those coaches met in their symposium, and they all agreed that the modern game demanded that you play the ball from out the back, and all of them was trying to play that. So even so that when we went there, I was playing against all of these Swedish team. We even give some of them 6 love because we had Paris and Niku Daly, and we just rushed them and was able to win the ball in their half and score a lot of goals against them. But that was when, and you see, and they persisted with it even after 1-0, 2-0, because that was what all the coaches in Sweden decided they wanted.
Okay, they were transitioning from one style of play to another.
Correct. Yeah. I hope that help with deciding who does it, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So is the game model the same as Beating the Press is saying? From what I'm hearing, it sounds like game model is the same as a quote unquote playing philosophy.
They're related. I would say they are cousins though, not the same thing.
what are the differences? What is it? What would be the philosophy? What would make philosophy
distant
different
cousin. Distant cousin. Philosophy could be mental, not necessarily what you do. The philosophy of a coach could be mental, not necessarily what you do on the pitch. Because look here, the pitch has top coaches says 10 moments. So 10 moments is you know, some coach says 6 moments. Defending, attacking, transition, and transition A, transition B, or set play A, set play B. So you have some coach says 6 moments. So you just need to learn what you're doing at the 6 moments. And you do it. And some coaches do it differently. Some coaches do the same thing, right? It's just that you have to have a plan what you're doing at the moments. It's mostly 6. Top coaches might think says 10 moments because them had some other dimensions to the same attacking and defending. Some of them break it down and say attacking and defending is different in your half, or in the middle third, or in the attacking third, or defensive third. So they break it down even further.
Yeah.
And add those as moments too, because it is true that
So that's more philosophy than model.
Yeah, philosophy is not model, because philosophy could be, you know, philosophy could depend on the coach. Could be a lot of things will not have anything to do with the moments, but football is really all you're playing at the moments. And you understand that, you kind of start to understand how the game model. So I could go back to game model again for you to understand. So Spain game model is to pass the ball as much as possible and move. That's their thing, pass and movement. Look, it don't even, so that's why people call it the tiki-taka, and some people say it's dying now. Why? Because the modern world learned to play without the ball. So it is less effective now. The teams that are controlling the ball most now, like Spain, Germany, they didn't go anywhere. They have the best pass completion rate and the best amount of possession, and they don't go anywhere because teams say, well, I don't need all of that to beat you. I just need to get the ball, know what my game model is. So like Morocco, they had a game model. When we do have the ball, all of us stay in our half, cut out all the spaces, allow the team certain places to play, keep them from in the middle of the goal, then can go to the flank, and we stifle them. So that was there. And when we get the ball, is a counter attack. We have 2 of my fastest players on each flank. That's their game model. So some game model can be very simple, some can be complex, but some of them can, but they can succeed because again, them say when we're doing in possession, when we're doing out of position. Philosophy can be a whole heap of other things than just playing football.
Yeah. All right. So the other question Duklan is asking is that because to create a game model, you'd have to probably have some discussion with coaches across Jamaica. I don't know, but he's asking what do we have available as a nation? What are our strengths?
Well, the biggest strength we have, strength.
Okay.
Well, we know what our biggest strength is. If you put the world on the equator in a 100-meter race, when the race finish, the Jamaicans will be at the front and the rest of the nations will be at the back. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have speed. So so we have speed. So if we have speed, we know so whatever we put in our game model must include pace.
I always hear people say we have speed, right? But which player do we have? When I look at like this guy named Modric and the Rashford, like I don't see a nation that has players who are slower than Jamaicans playing football, like wingers or wingbacks. Like Brazil have Roberto Carlos, and those guys were not slow. So sometimes when we say we have speed, do we have speed in football?
All right. So you have a lot. I think the last count, there's like 20 odd type of speed when you play football, right? Speed of thought, speed of reaction. There's always I'm just talking about raw speed, where if me are in a race, most likely the Jamaicans are out there at the front. I'm just talking about foot speed. Now, you can have foot speed over me now, but I react faster than you, right? Then Jamaica is blessed with physicality. Nobody can really say.
But really, go ahead, let me hear you.
Yeah, man, we're blessed with physical.
When I look at our footballers compared to other footballers in their age group, when we look, when we look at some of the in the Premier League, when I look at their thighs and stuff,
Me have to leave you, you know. Yeah, but I'm talking about athletes. I'm not talking about people not serious about playing the sports. I'm talking about a real athlete that want to play the sports. I mean, we have strength, natural strength that we can use. So it is possible. You look at a person like Fuller when he just started to play in Jamaica. He was like thinner than you, management. And then after him become a pro and him put on him weight, you could have see how big he got. So we do. It look like we do.
You know what I believe? Like still, like what do I think Jamaicans have a way of getting out as a people of getting out of sticky situation.
Right.
So I think that we have the kind of skill that to maneuver ourselves out of situation, which is why I think like a Fuller, a Whitmore, Andy Williams, some of these guys can get out of situation.
Yeah, remember we also grew up with believe that Anansi was a hero, right? So we're tricky, right?
I don't ever want to use that word Jamaica is concerned, Mr. Speed. I don't think.
No, there was a lot of Anansi stories in our time.
I don't think we should go down that Anansi story business in the context of what is happening in our country.
I was saying, no, we're tricky. We're tricky. But you just said we're tricky. We know how to get out of situation.
You said that we're tricky, we know how to get out of situation. That's
what you got. I don't know what you got, right? So I'm not talking about the average player. I'm talking about the international player who would have done his work, do the gym, work on him pace, work on him strength. I'm saying that with our natural attributes, if we do all of those, we are ahead of. Look at the other countries that are around us. Yes, you'll find the USA and Canada will have big athletes like us. They're still not as fast as us generally. You'll find, but when you go to Panama is coming up too. That's why they give us much of it. When you go to some of the other countries, the athletes are smaller, not as fast. So anything we develop, it have to be around our strengths, and that's all I was trying to say. Whatever.
And I think that to me, this is where probably you and I disagree. And I hear what you're saying, but I think we don't have any strength, which is our problem. Except for get out of situation. I'm going to tell you why I said. Because, all right, who you would say is I would say Leon Bailey, Kaheem Paris, in terms of who have played for Jamaica, are probably two of the faster players we have on the football field right now at the international level. I'm trying to think of maybe like a Norman Campbell. Let me think about some of them. Who else? I'm trying to think. But when I think about those players, I don't think they're even much faster than their counterparts. So I don't know if we can build something around that. When I think about who are some of the big players that we have, our physical players is probably Damian Lowe, Shamar Nicholson, but I don't know, but I do understand what you're saying, But I'm wondering if there's something else we're missing in terms of what are we actually good at.
So let me add some more.
Let me ask you this question. What do you use? What strengths do you use to create what you have at Cavalier specifically? And maybe when we look at that, we can think, I don't even want
anybody to say I'm trying to get the Cavalier model to play in Jamaica.
No.
Again, when I look at players all over the world, we have very good ball control, from long distances, angle. Most of our players can put it down a lot of our players can put the ball right down in front of them, better than a lot of players I'm seen playing at the English league. So we can control the ball, right? Yes, but we cannot pass the ball as well. But that could be a number of factors why our passing is not as good. Because the field's so bad. And I don't think we have enough repetition in our coaching sessions to get people to make that amount of passes so they get very proficient at doing it. So there, because most of our training is you make the boys and run a lot. or we play a squad match. And in a squad match, you might touch the ball 30 times if you're lucky. That's just not good enough for you to develop properly as a football player. So, but I'm still saying we're good athletically. That's strength. So one of the reasons why I think René Simons used the counter attack so much was because he believed that we could run away and leave people. And so he had a system where we defended stoutly, put 5 at the back, cut out the spaces because maybe at the time our football IQ wasn't as good playing without the ball. And then he had speedy players. Remember, when we started to use a Paul Hall and a Dean Burton, we were willing to run more. That was the time when we got the points to qualify for the World Cup. So let us not forget that when we had Anandelo and Walter Boyd, we were less likely to run. We were at 5 points from 5 games. As soon as we switched them out and put in 2 other runners, we were able to get the points. I'm not trying to kill them or anything as a player. It's just a facts. It's just facts because they more complemented how we were trying to play. Because we're not trying to play tiki-taka in 1998. So you have to look at your strength and decide what is good for you. So I believe
you have your $1 million friend, Mr. Cranky on the line. so
what I believe is that. Hold on a second, Cranky.
I'm on my lunch break and I have to go back to work.
Cranky, just hold on a second.
I have to leave, Mr. Speed.
Then leave enough for Cranky. Let me finish my point. So I am saying that one of the things that I think we could do good at management is playing transition, where we are able to develop some, put pressure on the team by attacking them with pace.
Okay, like playing the counter.
Transition to attack. Counter is a part of it, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me. And then catch them like that. All right, Cranky.
I heard Mr. I heard Rudolph saying a bunch of things which I just find interesting. A bunch of things. Let's go back. Let's dial back. I only have about 15 minutes. I got to go back to work. I'm on my lunch break for brain drain, so I'll give me a hard time. Number one, the reason why Spain and Germany is challenged because keeping the ball is what everybody wants to do in football. That's a fact. They don't have any goal scorers. Name me Spain and Germany prolific goal scorers. When Spain had the Villas of the world, they could play tiki-taka football and score a bunch of goals. They can't score nowadays because the people they have up front can't score goals. Man City keeps the ball more than anybody else. Don't they score goals? Now Arsenal is doing it. Don't they score goals? It's better to have the ball than don't have the ball. Most teams who play counter-attacking football play it because they can't keep the ball. Think about Tottenham, for example. Why does Tottenham play counter-attacking football? Because they can't keep the ball. So if you can't keep the ball, you try to find out what your strengths are and leverage those strengths to allow you to compete at the highest level. And this concept, and I heard somebody else, I'm not going to mention his name, say this a lot of times in all his arguments about our differentiating athleticism, which then should allow us to compete at the highest level. Football is mainly about technique. How quick was the entire Barcelona midfield, apart from maybe Messi when they were playing? It's about technique. It's a technique. Yes, if you have exceptional speed, like a Theo Walcott, a Modric, and you have skill with it, it's a differentiating quality. But this concept that we as a people, on the average, have more speed and therefore can be differentiated in a football field, it hasn't shown up. In the last 20 years, where's the Jamaican with the exceptional speed where you see on the field, you push the ball and he runs past the defense and get the ball and score?
Yeah,
name the person.
Somebody just said, and which is true, Luton Shelton was one, and Dane Richards was one. Those guys were.
But man, we can name in every country 2 or 3 players.
Yeah, but
I can name it for the US.
Yeah, man,
I can name it for England.
But that's what I've been saying is that, is it really a distinction because other nation? But let Mr. Speed respond to what you just asked.
Right. So I wasn't saying that the point I was making is that, and Cranky is probably saying the same thing and in a different way. Yes. The reason why we can't play like Spain because we don't have anybody for tiki-taka. So we have to find a system that suits the skills that we have. And that's why I suggested that we're playing transition in attack and defense more as our style. Learn to play without the ball because possessing the ball is a type of defense, where people can possess, you keep it, the man can't attack. So we have to learn to play without the ball in Jamaica because we can't keep it. Our possession rate against Mexico at 25%, Mexico at 75% of the time. So if we're going to try and compete against them by possessing the ball, we're going to lose out that fight. So all I'm saying, what we should do is try and play in a transition. So when we get it with fast, direct, use the advantage that we have, and we'll have a chance. That's all I was saying.
So, when I say two things, what Mr. Speed just said, two things. One is, to me, so the concept of where we should go as a people, as footballers, is twofold. There's a strategic component and there's a tactical. Yes, to compete today, I don't disagree with Rudolph, that we should play what our strengths are, which is counter-attacking. Going forward, though, Rudolph and all the people in Jamaica who are coaches should be teaching the kids the technique to allow them to keep the ball. If you look at the best teams in the world, think about France, who can keep the ball, but also have speed with like people Mbappe. All the top teams, they can keep the ball. So we have to teach our kids and players to learn how to keep the ball.
I never said we shouldn't do it.
Physical capabilities? No,
I never said we
should. But I'm just saying, but I'm making the point, Rudolph, which is today, yes, I agree with you about what we need to leverage to differentiate ourselves and to compete, which is you can't keep it, so you do what will have worked for you, which is counter-attacking football. Or you play deep block or you counter-attack. But going forward, at the very young age, we have to teach them the right technique to be able to keep the ball.
Yes.
And with that management, I have to go make some money, so I'm gonna leave you.
All right, boss. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I think both of you said, because what you're saying is what Cranky said, except that outside of that though, there needs to be which is part of the coaching, the whole coaching development, to get our kids to learn the technique better. You understand me? Because we have come a far way, you know, but we have a far way to go. Because when I used to play football, man used to say, "Oh, yo, oh, it's a lot of clear it. I mean, bush it. When in doubt, kick it out."
Exactly.
That used to be the coach, you know. Everything.
That used to be our game model.
And I think, so
the truth is, I didn't say counter-attacking, you know, because there's a difference between counter-attacking and transition to attack, right? I did not say counter-attacking. Counter-attacking is transition to attack. Cousin is not the same.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, when we are in possession of the ball, because speed is one of our strengths. So, say for instance, we're playing in Mexico, who is considerably slower than us on average, if you check out just run speed, right? So I'm just saying, what we need to do is transition as fast as we can, and put it, because those teams are going to knock. We drop back in our half because they can't keep the ball. Once we get the ball, we need to transition as fast as we can, right? Get them into a race that is more comfortable to us than to them, because that is all what football is about. Make the opposition uncomfortable, you know. Yeah, that makes sense.
But so for me, it is twofold. Right now, like at the senior level, we need to find the best talent, while we must also be working, like I said, with the younger players to get the technique right.
And you know something, part of keeping the ball is confidence too, you know. So you see, once we start getting any success, you're surprising how we keep the ball. Because I've seen Jamaican team play on the topper, like the first year when we went to the World Cup, and the team knocked the ball. You remember?
Yeah,
so
with Darren Mattocks and those guys. And
but part of knocking around that ball is confidence. How you get confidence, you have to do it. You have to having success when the confidence come. If you're not having no success, you're going to say, why not just kick it down the field, because I'm sure you can bring it through. You can play through the lines.
All right, we have a caller, last one, because we have our JPL show coming up at 2:30 and we don't want to. But Peter, welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Yeah, man, good afternoon. I just want to chime in real quick. Mr. Speed is right, you know. I remember when I'm a lot older. I don't know how old Mr. Speed is, but I'm a lot older than you, man. But I remember back in I probably, hey, listen, I've been playing ball for a long time. I don't know why I'm going into the history. But the reason why the reason why I did this, in order to preface what I'm going to say, because when I remember watching Jamaica back in the 90s, back in the 2000s, right? And I remember when Deuce Arena was coaching the USA against Jamaica. Not just him, the Mexican coach, I don't remember who he was at the time. All of them, the both of them especially, they always refer to the speed and the physicality of the Jamaican. That was one of the things that they say they have to know how to counter that. In fact, when Anandalo played, Bruce Arena actually said that, forgive me for saying this, but when Anandalo got himself in a little trouble, Bruce Arena actually said that Anandalo just solved his problem for him, because he did not know how to counter Anandalo because of his big physical strength. So there is a physicality to Jamaican football. It may have diminished over time because coaches trying to play a different style, but it is correct. We are very physical and we are fast. All right, that's all I want.
Okay. All right.
Bruce Arena said it, bro. Bruce Arena said it. And the Mexican coach said it. Whoever it was at the time, I don't remember. That was always their concern when playing against Jamaica.
And the Argentina, before they gave us 5-0 in the World Cup, they said it again.
All right. Yeah, man, there's a lot of coaches said it, I just remember those two distinctly.
Okay. All right. Respect, Peter. Thanks for the...
And don't be surprised if this new coach use that as part of his game model. You understand? So yeah, man, there's a physical aspect to our game. Yes, respect.
All right, then. Blessings, Peter. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. Just tell Force Spider, say, I agree. Remember, I said there's about 23 different speed that they talk about in football.
Yeah,
not just the physical speed. We know. But we're just talking about the one that will probably have an edge in.
Yeah. Somebody saying, are we still playing a physical team though? Like the modern day football is, I mean, listen, we are trying to cut out even, you remember back in, up to a couple of seasons ago, somebody was talking about Tuffy Anderson, Jermaine Tuffy Anderson, who was probably one of the most physical players in our leagues. And they said when he went to Costa Rica, he cried. You understand me? Because, so that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering when it comes to the international football, how much...
I would have to hear from Tuffy, because I don't know if it's because of physicality. It could be because he getting in trouble, because I thought sometimes he do some things where he won't get in trouble in Jamaica with him. Oh. And plus those people was able to keep the ball for long periods and probably be running around trying to get the ball, So, but look here. We did some other studies, It's not in the CONCACAF region, which is the second laziest region in the world. Second laziest. The players run the least in the world. There's also issues with
CONCACAF.
It's the second laziest confederation in the world in terms of the amount of running that them do at World Cup. They measure it. CONCACAF is the second laziest confederation. And so people have to understand that it's not just one issue we have. Also, CONCACAF midfielders, you never see them get games in Europe. Nobody employ them to play in Europe because of how they play, the midfielders, right? And you can go back and check it. If there's any, it's a few. So we have a whole heap of issues, not just in Jamaica alone, but in the whole region, because our game has developed to where it should be, where it should be. Mexico is our best, and them not even go to the second one. So some of the time when we're trying to look at what we have to do, but if you notice, other countries have been able, like all the Africans have been able to change their game to get success. Because remember, 2 World Cups before, no African team passed the first round either. But you see people are changing the way they play to get success. Yeah. So we have to really look at the way how we can get success. And that 100-year development and game model that is developed by Spain and Germany, we don't reach there yet. We have to learn to play at the moment and use what we have best.
Yeah. What I believe is that going ahead, if it is, maybe we can expand on the Captain Horace Burrell Center of Excellence or build something. I think we need a national academy. Maybe there needs to be some collaboration with like Mount Pleasant to have an academy where we can find the 30 best players, like from 10. Like the FIFA Gold project that they have in Haiti that the Haitian coach was talking about. That if we can find something like that and have the players in there either every weekend and they go to
no, because the academy don't work in the US really. They complain about the academy players and don't work out for the national teams. It's really the clubs.
No man, it's is not for like an academy for Mount. Is it the national academy like they have in France? And they have in like England did theirs. I think it completed in 2010. And since that time, players come through. They have won the under 17, under 20.
Yeah.
France did it, and France has been winning. When Ghana started theirs, they started going to under 17, under 20.
Germany did it when they win in 2014. They went back and did, from the grassroots come up, they build come all the way up.
So I just think we need a national academy that we just go. You start out with like many and you cut it down and the 30 best. Of course, over time, but if you can have those kids, like Haiti, the Haitian coach is saying that the female team, because they have 30 girls, 30 boys in their academy, the team that qualified, even the youth that played against Cavaliers and Waterhouse in the tournament, he was a part of that academy. He said the girls team, all of the players in their girls team, the under 20 team that went to the World Cup, come out of that academy. The same thing for the under 17 and the under 20 team. And he said only few of the national players now are not out of that academy.
So I agree with you 100%, but it's not building this game model and all of this, the players, the right players to get the right players to do what you want them to do. It takes years, like maybe 10 years. So there's
no, man, I know. Yeah, man, that we are talking about. So I would expect that that's what I say, if we have them from 10 or 12 years old, by the time 30 of these players get to 22, you know.
No, but it can't be just you who have them, you know. It has to be a concentrated effort from all the coaches in the country, because if you don't do that, you're going to have talents that get left behind, right? Because you never draft them initially, and people develop at different rates. So it has to be a sustained effort island-wide where you have coaches from all over the country believing in what the country wants to do. That's what I experienced in Sweden. And it will work. But you know us Jamaicans, we are so competitive and want to do things our own way. But with the advent of the coaching education, I think we'll narrow the gap somewhat and see if we can don't leave no talent behind. But you're right. There has to be a concentrated effort, you know?
Yeah, man. All right. So Mr. Speed, I know you have to come back. Listen, many comments, people, it should have been a 45-minute show. We have got over an hour and 20 odd minutes. All right, so we're going to have to cut it because I need to start making some calls to get some persons on the JPL show for 2:30, and we have some tickets that we'll be giving away for the Monday night game in the JPL. Free ticket too for you and your lady. You understand me? So do that as well and check out that show. All right, Mr. Speed, thank you for coming on and explaining the whole system of play, the game model. And let's hopefully by the end of this year we can expect to see a game model for Jamaica's football.
I hope so.
You hope? No, well, we're going to keep pressing the button for this one because I think it is important. All the best until we talk again a little bit from now, Mr. Speed. All right. So people, there you go. Listen, that is the show. It has been way past time. You can't complain, you know. And Fresh God just let me know that after we gave you additional time, it's still only 45 likes. Get it up to at least 50 likes. Please, and if you have not yet subscribe to the channel, man. Hit the subscription button. We're doing some good stuff. Tomorrow we have we have a goalkeeping coach from Iceland. All right, big European goalkeeping coach. We'll be interviewing him tomorrow on the platform. You understand me? So make sure you stay tuned for that one. Icelandic goalkeeping coach that, you know, him coach a national team somewhere in the world, you know? Yeah. All right, so check that out. See now here who will create the No, he did say Stefan, right? If you understand that, you will know who will create the game. It was a specific. But we're going to press it now. Stefan, right? You know how it is. We're going to keep asking until we find out who are the specific persons responsible for creating the game model. Foreign first responder, bless up yourself. Coach Boris Johnson, bless up yourself. Jermaine Clark, up and running, man. Yeah. J. Ross, been a minute. Bless up as well, you know. You understand me? All the other persons who have been on watching the show. South Cry, Pad Running. Fresh God. Kwame, the man from Senti. You don't know. Garden Party. Jason. Yeah. Duckland. Yeah. The bartender. Devil Dog. Blessings. Yeah, man. Oh, I didn't see this one in a Devil Dog says I wasn't Mr. Speed in Gatia Cup. We can't depend on physical ability and waste our mind. They told black kids in the US that they weren't smart enough to play quarterback. Yeah. Big up Wayne Evans as well. Big point this. Devil Dog don't like the name still, but you don't know. It's your thing. Dre, anyways, a sport. Just letting me know. Richard Stewart up and running said that Obama Young has been dropped. Ian Campbell dropped from Chelsea's Champions League squad. Rob Simis, yeah man, blessings. He had to help me to understand. Cranky, thanks for calling in. Peter, beating the press. Yeah man. Ricketts, Marsden Ricketts up and running. All right. Bless up Boss Thomas and everyone else. You understand me? Bless up Coach Minzy. You're late. Coach Minzy. Janice again, 2:30. Up. We are over. And we are OUT out of here.